How cute is this card? I love Oliver & Company. It totally makes me think of Oliver & Company. And my cat looks just like Oliver. I call him Pumpkin, but he looks just like Oliver. And I just think he's so sweet. I thought this was just such a fun card, and it's simple in design, but it has a few techniques that I haven't taught you guys yet. So I'm excited to teach you guys how to use this little technique. Have a great day. Thanks so much for tuning in. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, all the things, and have a great day. Hey guys, I have this fun Oliver inspired card, Oliver & Company inspired card that I made. It's so sweet. I just thought it was such a fun card. Using the Pets and More stamp set from a few years ago. I want to say it's 2 or 3 years ago. So we're using the cat, and we're using all 3 of these little pieces here. So we've got our 4 1/4 by 11 inch cardstock, and it's scored at 5 1/2. That's Coastal Cabana, and this is Pool Party, and this is 4 inches by 5 1/4. Then we have this little piece of white, and this is 3 3/4 by 5 inches, and this is 4 inches by 5 1/4. This is the piece that goes on the inside of the card, and so I don't get it mixed up, I'm going to go ahead and stamp this piece now so that we get it all taken care of first. Because, you know, when you have more than one piece of white paper or the same colored paper, sometimes it's better just to get started. Oops, it's not inked. So I'm just going to stamp this little paw on the inside, and that's the inside of our card. Nothing fancy, just a cute little something, you know. All right, so let's go ahead and put this on the inside of our card. Okay. All right. Yeah, there we go. So sweet, right? I mean, just such a sweet little touch to have a little paw in there. As a cat lover myself, I never knew I would love cats so much. I didn't grow up with cats, so it's funny that I'm such a cat lover now. All right, so now for our card. We're going to set this aside so it doesn't get ink on it. So for our basic card, I'm going to start with doing the bottom first, only because it seems to be the trickiest part. All right, so I decided to start with the bottom of the card because these little pieces are a little tricky. The cutout pieces for the paw and the bowl are not that deep. So if you ink too deeply, you might get ink inside the little cutouts. And so you just got to be careful when you're inking up. And so it's just something to think about. And then for the goldfish, it's a little bit longer than you think. So I'm stamping it. There we go. I wanted to make sure I stamped it. I didn't want it to stamp off the page. And I started at the middle, because when you start at the middle, then when you get to the outside, you can evenly space it. These bowls on the outside are going to be a little bit crooked. Oh, I got ink in the middle of it. Let me see. Oh no, it was okay. I just messed up another card earlier from it, so I want to make sure. I'm going to lean this one to the right, and this one, I'm going to lean it to the left. And so that way, even though it's crooked, it's intentionally crooked. And so there we go. And now it's spaced out pretty evenly without it being too complicated. So we're done with our Coastal Cabana. We're done with that. We're going to need pumpkin pie, and we're going to need peach pie in order to do Oliver. So these stamps, as I don't know if you realized, are double-sided. So when you stamp the back side, it's the fill-in, and then this is the outline. So I'll show you what I mean. So this stamp has 2 sides. This front side has all these textures, and I'm going to put the textures against the block first. And so the back side is just this clear this clear flat surface. And this is what I'm going to ink up. And I'm going to go ahead and put a piece piercing mat underneath, because anytime you have a large flat surface like this, it's good to have a little squishy pad underneath it. And so just try and center it. I'm not putting any sentiment on this card. I'm just keeping it very simple. So this is the peach pie that we used. And see, now it's got a nice, clean, even surface area. When you do it with the lines first, I find it's harder to stamp this big area into the detailed part. The only problem when you're using this double-sided stamp is you have to clean it in between. And I know this is all black. This is all ink. The ink stains the chamois. It's not dirty, I promise. It's just stains from the ink. It's not dirty. It's just a lot of stains from the ink. And so we're going to go ahead and dry this off. So because it's all wet right now, you need to dry it off. And so I'm just going to dry it off on a little piece of scrap paper. Then I'm going to flip it over. That way now, oops, flipped it the wrong way. So now the flat area is against the block. And now we have the detailed line area. And that's why we need pumpkin pie. So pumpkin pie is the one we're going to use to add all his details. And we don't need the mat anymore. So let's go ahead and let's all inked up. So I tend to go from the bottom to the top to try and get within the outline. There we go. There we go. And so now we've got him within the outline. Perfect. That turned out great. And then I just used Pool Party on the front here. I guess I could have stamped this in Pool Party. I just didn't. And so I just thought it was like a nice little contrast to have. And see, this is the back where I had messed up. So you won't see that because I probably cut it out. I mess up on my cards all the time. But I went ahead and fixed it. So I started over again because I had gone off the page. Oh no, I've got a blotch of ink right there. So I guess we're gonna have to add a sentiment. I was gonna keep this just plain, but I've got a blotch of orange, probably from my fingers or the stamp or something, right there. So what we'll do is we will add a little sentiment to this card. Okay, I have an oval here, and let's go ahead and stamp. Let's do pumpkin pie against this. So now I'm using that little bit of a little more of that blue. True love has 4 paws. And this is actually, oh, I didn't glue it down. I was wondering why it was coming off because I hadn't glued it down. Oh, goodness. All right. Okay, so I'm just going to use this oval punch that I have handy. So see that mark? It's not a big deal, that little mark. I don't even know if you can see on the camera. It's not that obvious. The problem is I want to sell my cards, and you know, a card that's stained is not going to sell. So I'm going to go ahead and add this off to the side here. I don't know if it'll fit centered and still cover it. No, I don't think, no, it won't cover it. Now I could add some embellishments, but I'm going to go ahead and just pop this off to the side. I don't think I'm going to make it 3D. I think I'm going to keep it flat because we're going to add the twine. We'll add this last because we need to kind of see what's going on. I liked having this all flat. It was just a cool design element for it. And so that's why I did it this way. And, you know, it just makes it a universal card. And this, oh, the stamp set I'm used for the sentiment, it's called 9 Lives. It's, oh gosh, this stamp set's like, I don't know, 8 or 9 years old. And it had a punch with the cat and some great sentiments. You're the Cat's Meow would also have been fun, but I don't know if it wouldn't have fit. You know what I mean? It's a little too long. And so let's make sure all of this is down. Yeah, there's no ink on my fingers. I think it was on the block. So what I'm going to do is I think we'll see about that. Let's see. Let's get our bow on and then we'll go from there. All right, so I'm going to tie a little bow with the twine. Whoops. Come on. Tie a little bow. All right, tie a little bow with twine, take my fabric scissors. That's not my fabric scissors, there they are. These scissors are just designated for fabric. They're not fancy, they're just designated for fabric. They look just like my paper scissors, unfortunately, so sometimes I have to be careful. But I tied a little ribbon to it, so. All right, so we've got our twine, and I'm just gonna put a little glue dot and then put this bow on. And that makes me decide whether I wanna pop this up on dimensionals or not. I think I might, because of the 3D bow. Any additional element makes me feel like it kind of needs to be 3D if it's not stamped. So let's go ahead and put our glue dot on, and I'm just gonna pop it down like a little tiny piece of chewing gum and then attach the bow. I just find that to be a little bit easier, especially when I'm trying to get it affixed to an image. Sometimes that's a little bit easier. Okay, so now, do I want that flat or 3D? Let's see. Let's try it with the dimensionals and see if we like it with dimensionals or flat. I think I like it flat. I just think the only thing I want is 3D is that bow. So we'll go ahead and we'll glue it down over that little bump. So, you know, so even when you make a mistake, many times you can salvage it. And so I could have just been like, oh, it's ruined. And if I were giving this card to someone, I would have probably just left it alone and not even cared, because my friends probably wouldn't have even noticed. But because I'm selling this card, I'm going to make sure that it looks like a nice card. True Love has 4 paws. And I don't really totally love the placement of that, but I think it still works and looks cute. And I think people will like it. And so I might slide it down a little bit more. There we go. And yeah, so I saved the card. It's not my favorite. It's not as cute as I think the original. But again, it's all up to your perspective and your opinion. You know what I mean? Like, it's, everyone will have their own opinion. Some people might like the label better, you know, and that's okay too. You know, there's no right or wrong, you know, to the crafting. You know, it's just all a preference. And so I just kind of liked that this was more flat. And you see, I had kind of almost run off the edge of the card with these. But I still felt they were okay. So I moved, when I stamped this card, I made sure I had a little more space. And so, and then we got our inside, and that's it. So here's our card, our original card. Here's our new improved card with the minor error that got fixed. And there's our 2 cards. And so I cut out one error just to show you a different error, which I think is kind of funny. So, well, thanks for tuning in, you guys. I really appreciate it. And I hope you have an excellent day, and comment, like, all the things. And so thanks so much.